For years, Eustace Conway built a life that felt far removed from the modern world, raw, disciplined, and deeply connected to nature. And for many people, his land stood as proof that a simpler way of living was still possible. But behind that quiet image, questions slowly began to surface. And when investigators finally stepped onto his property, what they found did not fully match the story people believed. So what really happened, and why is his legacy now being questioned more than ever? Eustace Conway was never someone who just talked about survival. He lived it completely, leaving home at just 17 to live in the wilderness, choosing a life that demanded strength, endurance, and total commitment. While others were still figuring things out, he was already deep in a path that would define his entire future, from hiking the Appalachian Trail to traveling across the country on horseback. His journey built an image of extreme determination, but even those achievements were not without doubt, as historical records suggested others had completed similar journeys faster, adding a layer of controversy that followed him quietly over the years. His life gained attention through radio, documentaries, and eventually television, where audiences saw his daily routines on mountain men, watching him live without modern comfort, fully dependent on the land. And that authenticity is what drew people in. But even then, challenges never disappeared. Legal pressures and land disputes reminded everyone that no matter how far someone steps away from society, they can never fully escape it. At the center of everything was Turtle Island Preserve, a vast piece of land in North Carolina that Conway slowly built into a self-sufficient world, growing food, raising animals, and teaching others how to live off the land. It became more than just a home. It became a symbol, attracting visitors, students, and followers who wanted to experience that lifestyle for themselves. But living that way came with a cost, especially in his personal life. Relationships proved difficult, as many who were drawn to him by the idea of simple living struggled with the harsh reality of it. Long days of physical labor, strict routines, and very little comfort pushed many away. And while some stayed longer than others, most eventually left, revealing a side of his life that was far less romantic than it appeared from the outside. Even those who worked with him described an environment that could feel intense and demanding, where his rules came first and flexibility was limited. Over time, criticism grew stronger, especially when former interns and workers began sharing their experiences. Some described his leadership style as controlling, while others questioned whether the environment truly matched the freedom it promised. And these concerns only added to other controversies, including legal disputes over land and public claims he made that were challenged by officials, creating a divide between those who supported him and those who became more skeptical. But the biggest turning point came when authorities investigated Turtle Island after receiving a tip about unpermitted structures. What followed was a full inspection involving multiple departments, examining buildings that had been constructed using traditional methods rather than modern codes. To Conway, these methods were proven and reliable, but to officials, they raised safety concerns. And the result was a shutdown order that stopped visitors and operations entirely. This moment turned a quiet lifestyle into a public battle, as Conway argued that the system left no room for traditional ways of living, framing it as a larger issue about freedom and the right to live differently. Supporters rallied behind him, petitions gained thousands of signatures, and the pressure eventually led to a legal change that allowed certain primitive structures to exist. But even with that victory, the situation left a lasting impact. What investigators found was not something criminal or shocking in the way rumors suggested, but something deeper, a clash between two worlds, one built on tradition and self-reliance, and the other governed by modern laws and regulations. And once that conflict became public, the image of Eustace Conway shifted from a simple survivalist story to something far more complex. His legacy now sits in that space between admiration and criticism, where people continue to debate not just what he built, but what it truly represents in today's world, and whether a life like his can exist without conflict in a system that demands structure and control. If you found this story interesting, make sure to subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon for more untold stories like this.